Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to compare 3 different camping chairs that I own, that I've owned for about 3 to 4 years. Some of them I've owned for a little bit longer. And out of these 3 chairs, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of each one, why I still keep some of the cheap ones, why I keep some of the expensive ones, and kind of go over some of the bells and whistles of each, so stay tuned. All right, so one thing to keep in mind is my height and weight. I am 6 foot 4 inches tall, 235 pounds with my clothes on and my shoes, or my flip-flops, maybe 233 pounds naked. But I don't sit in any of these chairs naked, but they all support my weight. The cheap one that I'm gonna go over first is about 250 pounds or less. These heavier duty ones are about 275 pounds, so keep that in mind as I go over all these. All right, chair numero uno. Bought this from Amazon for like 12 bucks. Pretty cheap little camping chair, but it folds up really easily, really tightly. It's also lightweight. I do use this one a lot if I don't really care about, wearing it out or getting it stolen or getting, sun exposure where it, strips the color off the chair. Can't go wrong with this one, but as you can see, it is starting to give way. That's probably because I'm approaching the weight limit of 250 pounds. I usually have to go in it fairly gently. I can kind of hear it shifting. It's probably on its way out. I also have broken a few of these when I'm going to get up. Instead of rocking out like this, which you probably should do, sometimes I'll grab it like this and push while I lift myself up, and I've actually had it just completely break free. But if you're looking for a cheap chair, that's gonna be, it's comfortable. There's no pressure points. I can also extend my legs out. It's got a cup holder. Not too many bells and whistles to this one, but it's cheap, it's lightweight, it's easy to transport, and it's fairly comfy. When I do have my legs out, I do feel a little bit of pressure down here, but if I'm sitting like this, can't go wrong. I use this a lot for like festivals, concerts, if I go to the river with my dogs. It's a great little chair. Again, I'll put a link below. All right, chair numero dos. This is a Timber Ridge recliner chair. I bought these from Costco. They were like $90, but I also bought a second one on Amazon. Again, I'll put a link below. Awesome chair. I do use this one quite frequently too. It's got an adjustable pillow. I usually have it at the top, obviously, because I'm tall. And it's also a recliner, which I'll show you here in a minute. It does fold up, not as quick as the other one, and not as tightly, but it still folds up, but it does take up more room in my Jeep. But I do bring this one a lot when I'm going camping. It's also a little bit heavier, but it's also heavier duty. And like I said, it is a recliner. You can sit in it like so, or I can fully recline. It's actually considered a zero gravity chair because your head's a little bit lower than your feet. So I can pass out. I have passed out on this thing many of times. Now this one also has a cup holder, but it's hidden underneath. You can pull it out, lift it up. Not only do you have a cool little cup holder here, but you have a little plate to put your phone or whatever you want, maybe your plate of food, whatever. And again, it reclines all the way back or not all the way back. If you just want it a little bit, can't beat it. There's actually a way to lock these 2 things here. Press it, lock, and it'll hold in position. It's the only thing with being my size, my height, my feet go over the edge, but I don't consider it much of a problem because all of my weight is on my butt where I'm sitting and on my back, so there's no pressure points below my feet here, especially if I'm all the way inverted. Not inverted, but reclined. It's really, really comfortable. I also like the chair has these bungees, so it's actually kind of got like a suspension type feel to it. Goes all the way up the backside, all the way up behind here. So it's almost kind of got a spring action to it. Very, very comfortable. Now I don't use this one as much as my cheapo that I use when I go to the park or the river with my dogs, just because it is heavier. It doesn't fold up as much, does take up more room. I usually leave these on my front deck. I actually made another video going more into depth about this. I'll put a link below. I did that about a couple years ago. But an awesome chair if you're willing to spend the money and you want something that you can pass out on that's gonna hold up over the years. This has actually been outside on my front deck for a couple years now, and you can see it hasn't really stripped much of the color off, and it's held up great, especially up here in Seattle where it rains a lot. Can't beat it, but it is a little bit more expensive than the cheapo. All right, on to my newest chair, but quickly becoming one of my favorite chairs. This is this GCI Sunshade rocker. This is like a higher quality, cheapo chair. Costs about 80 bucks, but what's cool about this, it has these shock absorbers in the back. You can actually rock in the chair. Super comfortable. It reminds me of when I was with my mom and dad growing up. We had a rocker at home and I would just rock on the thing forever playing video games. I like rocking. It's soothing, and this allows you to do that. It also has this retractable sunshade that's pretty friggin' cool, especially on days like today here in Seattle where it's about 80. I can sit in the shade. Super, super cool. The other two don't have that. Now, one thing I noticed, if I put my feet forward, I kind of lean forward and it kind of pushes my back forward. Not as comfortable as the first cheapo chair if you want to sit like this. Still doable, but not as comfortable. But it's more of a rocker, and this shade rock stays in position. You can move it all the way down if you don't want to stare at anybody, or move it up like so if you just want a little bit of sun. Pretty friggin' cool. All right, and it also has a cup holder like the other two, as well as a cool pouch that you can store your keys or your phone or whatever you need in there. Obviously, it's gonna hold up more because it's a more expensive chair, but it has some cool features that the other two don't have. Sunshade rocker. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this quick comparison video of the 3 chairs that I use mostly for all my outdoor activities, and sometimes indoor if you need a, if you have a lot of company over and you're inside and you need an extra chair. These things are awesome. Again, I'll put links below to where you can purchase them all on Amazon. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button if you did. See you in the next video.